All right, it's your girl Claire Huxtable 2.0, and today we're going to talk about the coronavirus pandemic now, according to the World Health Organization. And we all know it's not just black mamas, it's not just black grandmamas. We're going to talk about what black mamas say. So, join me, I'll be right back. Alright, so if you know y'all have not been under a rock, that seems like that's my favorite thing to say. However, y'all haven't been under a rock, so you know coronavirus, otherwise known as COVID 19, has been officially declared as a global pandemic by the World Health Organization. So, I'm not here to give you any scientific information about that. I'm not here to do any of that, matter of fact. But what I am here to do is ask y'all a couple of questions about why y'all act like that with this virus, like it's the first virus ever that has ever been on a scale large as this. We've had the Black Plague, we've had swine flu, we've had SARS, so this is not our first rodeo with a global pandemic, right? But my question is for you guys, what in the hell are y'all stockpiling toilet paper for? Like, I could see if the symptoms may cause like spontaneous, uncontrollable, continuous shitting and pissing until the rapture comes. But it doesn't even say that on the CDC website. The symptoms are runny nose, itchy throat, a cough, and a fever. So how does that translate into, let me buy all the toilet paper of the world because I never know when I'm maybe able to buy some more? Case in point, my friend who lives in Houston, Texas, shout out to Katie, who told me this little bit of tidbit of information. And excuse me if I keep going back and forth because I'm running the whole show by myself, as you guys know. So all the switchboards and mechanics and stuff is just me. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. But my friend Katie sent a text saying, I went to buy toilet paper because I'm legit out of it. You know, as many people do, they re-up their toilet paper, paper towels, and whatever. And so she went to the store to get toilet paper and feminine hygiene products, maxi pads, tampons, what have you. So she went to the store, shelf clean of maxi pads, tampons, antibacterial gel, hand sanitizer, and toilet paper. So I don't understand why people do this every time there's some kind of global pandemic, and I'm not making light of it because people have died. Even though the numbers are low, people have died from the illness. We know that it particularly affects older people and elderly in a negative way. So not to make light of the virus. However, I guarantee you one of the symptoms they did not have, and anybody who has been diagnosed with having the symptoms of coronavirus, they have not had spontaneous, uncontrollable shit and piss all over themselves for the duration of the virus. And it's like 90% treatable and curable. So I just don't understand that, but to each his own. I never understood the stockpiling of items that don't even make any sense. The CDC is telling you specifically and very plainly and blatantly that the way to avoid contracting this type of virus is to wash your hands and avoid contact with people. So what do? We go out in public and touch everything and buy everything off the shelves. Like, that's so counterproductive. So, I want to know, where are you stockpiling all this toilet paper? Please don't have a garage full of toilet paper waiting for Armageddon, I guess. Like, we've survived pandemics before in our lifetime, so Armageddon's not coming anytime soon. And if you think it is, go read your Bible, because Armageddon's not coming in the form of a virus, coronavirus, okay? It's coming in the form of fire. So, that's if you believe what I believe, which is, the Bible. So the plague, the end of the world is coming by fire, not by coronavirus. So there's no need for you to stockpile unnecessary items in your home. Women, if you're going out and you're buying all these maxi pads, I want to know how bad your period is, number one. Number two, how often do you have it that you think you won't be able to go to the store in the next 28 days? Men, what are you using the toilet paper for? I know you have to wipe when you do number two, but how many times a day do you do number two? You know, you don't need 12, 24 packs of Angel Soft, you know, and it's not going to help you anyway. Now, what I really find funny is, and I know some of y'all probably feel me on this, what I really find hilarious is the fact that the CDC and other health organizations had to explicitly tell you to wash your hands. And not just to wash your hands, but for a specified amount of time. Who is washing their hands for a shorter time period than 20 seconds? That is literally, 20 seconds goes by really, really fast as well. So I don't know who's in there just doing a sprinkle and a bounce. Now, I have been in the bathroom with some people in the women's restroom, and I have gone to the sink to wash my hands, and women who have came in after me and are leaving before me skip the sink altogether. As a general practice, sis, you gotta wash your hands, baby. And even if there wasn't a global pandemic going on and the CDC was not telling you verbatim to go to a sink, hot water and soap, I need that to be a daily practice for you anyway. So there's a lot of funny memes and jokes going around about here's how you can count 20 seconds. Happy birthday, you can sing that while you wash your hands. There's about 7 bounce music songs you can sing while you wash your hands. One of them is Back That Ass Up. I can only imagine a public restroom where a bunch of women are just washing their hands going, girl, you're working with some ass, yeah. You bad, yeah. Like, you know? So, but it was just all hilarious to me because we have to now tell grown adults to wash your hands. Do you know how much stuff you touch a day? Why would you not want to wash your hands? You touch cash, you touch your ass, you touch your genitals, you touch your eyes, you touch food, you touch office equipment, gas pumps, steering wheels. The amount of stuff you come into contact with on a daily basis should boggle your mind enough to be like, good God, I need to wash my hands like every 2 hours, every hour and a half, every 30 minutes. You should have antibacterial gel in your office, a little travel size in your car. Like, I don't understand. The sheer amount of things that people touch on a daily basis is enough to make you want to wash your hands. But some people don't. And I saw a couple of memes on Facebook that said, now that we have everybody on board with washing your hands, next let's discuss your ass, your feet, and your armpits. That's a whole nother live session about why people feel they don't need to daily wash their behind. But nevertheless. So, like I said, the CDC is saying, of course, if you don't have to travel, don't. If it's not essential to your job, please refrain from going to highly infected areas, quarantine areas, which we know China's on lockdown. Italy now is on lockdown, and it's slowly making its way throughout Europe. So, even though the flights are like $2.50 for a first class ticket, you don't have to travel right now. Do not travel right now. Even if the cruises are $2.50 for a ticket, you don't have to take a cruise right now. Can you imagine how miserable you would be stuck on a boat full of strangers who are all sick? Number one nightmare right there. And I don't even like cruises because it's too much water around me and nowhere to go and run and hide or whatever. Plus, the crime that goes on cruise ships is outrageous. Not really astronomical, but if you didn't know, cruise ships go by the law of the territory they're sailing through. So, you know, a lot of your crimes that are crimes in America aren't crimes in the middle of nowhere. Just letting you know. So, Anyway, so if you don't have to travel, don't. Now, my second part to this particular pandemic is it is never surprising to me what it will take for people to become overtly racist. Now, we know that the virus had an outbreak in China. Over 80,000 people infected, and the number is steadily growing. But I think Italy being in a close second or third as far as number of infected cases. However, that does not give you a green light to be overtly racist to the Asian American culture or Asians, period. I've seen so many news stories and so many Facebook videos of people actually getting up to not sit next to an Asian person, switching seats to not sit next to an Asian person, not wanting to touch an Asian person just because of where they're coming from. You shouldn't be touching nobody at all, number one. Okay? CDC says so. Don't sue me. But anyway, people find like the most uncanny reason to be overtly racist. Now, really? You know? But anyway, wash your hands, people. Wash your hands. If you do get infected and you are quarantined, hopefully your job is one of those good jobs that'll pay you during the quarantine part of the infection. I know my job will pay up to 14 days if I do get quarantined, and I have to travel next week. So, you know, I'll be taking my necessary precautions, my Lysol wipes, my Clorox wipes. I will wipe down my entire row on the plane because airplanes are gross as it is. But, you know, when you think about airplanes, they're really like encapsulated petri dishes. So, you know, you don't really want to be stuck on a plane with all this stuff in the air and, you know, what have you. So, needless to say, I have to travel for my job. So, as of right now, they haven't canceled my my orders yet. So, I'll be headed on a jet plane with my Lysol wipes and what have you, and protective gloves, because, you know, I touch it. It's human nature to just touch on stuff that you see. So I don't need my carelessness to end up making me sick. So another thing is the face mask. I'm seeing a lot of people who have, you know, the face masks are another thing that is like selling off the shelves. Nobody got them. If you're looking for them, you might as well go to a sex store and get you a bondage mask. That's the only mask you're going to get at this time during this pandemic. But I read online through the CDC and a couple of other trusted health organizations that you really don't need to wear the face mask as much as you need to protect your hands and stop touching your face. So do that instead. I mean, you can wear the face mask if you're around a bunch of dirty people who sneeze and don't cover their mouths, or, you know, coughing and snotting and sniffing around you, then by all means wear the face mask. However, the CDC also said to practice respiratory hygiene, which is sneeze with your mouth closed, with your mouth covered, cough with your mouth covered, or turn away from somebody, because particles come out when we sneeze, and those particles are highly infectious. So again, going back to common courtesy and not being raised like a savage, that was already part of manners 101. You know, and I have been around some people who cough open mouth without it being covered. I've been around some people who sneeze open mouth without their mouth being covered. You know, I've been around people who have hawked a loogie and spit in front of me. So, yeah, let's not even go into why I'm around these people. But, you know, I say that to say this, just practice manners 101. Keep your distance from people, about 3 feet, they say. You don't have to shake hands, hug, kiss, or whatever. You don't even fist bump them. Wave. Wave, nod, bow, whatever's customary in your country. But that's it for coronavirus and manners 101. Wash your hands, people. I know it sounds silly that we have to tell grown adults who are not mentally challenged to go to a sink, warm water and soap, wet your hands, soap, wet your hands, and then wash it off. Like, come on, people. Like, kids learn this at an early age. You're not so clean that you don't have to wash your hands, okay? And then people who don't wash their hands are the main ones who want to touch everything and hug everybody and feel on all kind of shit. Like, keep your pandemic to yourself. But anyway, we're going to move on to the number 2 topic tonight, things that black mamas say. And this is one of them right here that you can see says there's food at home. I don't know how many times I've heard this from my own mother, but truth be told, I don't know one mother, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, or otherwise, who won't tell their child this, especially when it's not payday and you just been grocery shopping and the kid just wants something that's not what you cooked. Okay? So, a couple of the ones that I heard on when I asked people to drop down in the comments and let me know what's their favorite line. I've heard, quit crying or I'll give you something to cry about. Such a contradiction. Like, such a contradiction. Get off the phone because it's lightning outside. I don't know what the lightning has to do with the phone. Fix your face or I'll fix it for you. I know you better know that homework like you know the words of that song. I don't know who you think you're talking to. Like, I'm not Boo Boo the Fool. I'm not one of your little friends. It's just, the list goes on and on and on and on, right? So, a couple of the ones that I know my mom has said to me, and she didn't really say a lot of those sayings, but she said enough to where I got the picture, right? So, for instance, Mama, can we go to McDonald's? Do you have McDonald's money? That was one that was always said. And it goes with everything you could possibly put in that sentence. Insert this here in the blank. Can we go to the mall? Do you have mall money? Can we go to the store? Do you have store money? It just, mamas take that and they stretch it so far that now it's freaking hilarious. Another one my mom used to say, because I didn't stay a lot overnight at friends' houses, she didn't believe in that. And so, the number one question she would ask would be, who is their mama? And I would say who the mama is. I never heard of her, you're not going. Or I say who the mama is, yeah, I know who that is, you're not going. Or I'll say everyone else is going, why can't I go? I'm not everybody else's mama, I'm your mama, and I said no, okay? And the list goes on and on and on, but those were some of the ones that my mom loved to say, Her favorite was, I'm not their mama, I'm your mama, and I said no. Another one is, if I gotta tell you again, it's gonna be a problem. And I still say that to this day when I'm talking, to grown-ups. Like, if I gotta say it again, it's gonna be a problem. So, let me know down in the comments what kind of household sayings that you all grew up with. I've heard a couple of funny ones from my friend. From a lot of my friends who, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, their moms have all said some kind of derivative of the black mama saying, and so it's just funny that, like my friend Jessica said, shout out to Jessica, who is a friend and a follower, I think they have a training manual, I think they have a training manual, like, with the first time you become a mother and someone pulls you aside and you're like, so when you get in a tight spot or a bind, this is what we say as quick responses, like, for every situation. They want to go out, here's what you say. They want to go eat somewhere, here's what you say. If you go to a cookout and you ain't finna cook when you get home, do you say this? Make sure y'all eat enough, because I ain't cooking when we get home. I've heard that. Get your to-go plate, because I ain't cooking when I get home. All right, mama, So, but yeah, drop down in the comments and let me know what's your favorite black mama saying. One of the ones my grandmother used to tell me when we were growing up, it was 12 cousins. We just would take over my grandmother's house in the summertime. But she would love to tell us that we smell like outside. And it wasn't until I smelled other people's children who had been outside and came back in. You know, they get sweaty and they play rough and all that kind of stuff. I didn't understand what outside smelled like until I was around my friends' kids, my cousins' kids, who would go out in the rough house and play, you know, all day long and come in. And all I can say to describe it is, it's a mixture of brass, like the metal brass, like metal, grass, and like garlic mixed with like sweat. So like it smells like the Gulf of Mexico here in Mississippi, which smells like ladies' night at the strip club. That's all I gotta say. Like Fisherman's Wharf / Hooker Row, you know. So, but anyway, that's all I got for y'all tonight, y'all. Like I said, be on the lookout from the CDC. They have a lot of different level threat warnings for different areas of the world. Depending on where you're traveling, they range from 1 to 4. 1 being low threat and 4 being cancel all your plans, you're going nowhere. So look on the cdc.gov and see if where you're going is going to put you at risk for contracting the virus. And if it's worth it to you to go anyway, then go anyway, you know. Like I said, it's not a high rate of fatalities, but some people are affected in different ways. So, y'all take care. This will be a rebroadcast later on in the week. And my contact information will be at the end card of the rebroadcast. So, y'all take care. Love you. Bye.